Morning, Bill here with the Metals Minute. Today is Friday, May 27th, 2022. Well, as we prepare to head into this Memorial Day weekend, all the metals are higher this morning. And as we mentioned on Wednesday, we've had some temporary selling pressure due to options expiry, but that appears to be over, and now we're onward and upward for all four of the metals. And so that's a great way to start the weekend. Wanted to take a few minutes and talk about bear market rallies in the stock market and the reverse effect in precious metals, because these two phenomenon often happen at the same time, and we don't want you to be caught on the wrong side of this going forward. But typically what happens in an extended bear market, and there are few traders that are actually working on Wall Street today that have ever experienced one, because we've had short-term dips, but it's been several years since we've had an extended bear market in stocks. But the conditions are similar to the last time that we had a significant and lengthy bear market. And so let's talk about what can happen and how it can be dangerous for investors. During a bear market, which is a time when stocks overall are going in a downward direction over a period of time, in the midst of that, there can be rallies where the stocks will, for a short time, it will look like the worst is over, and they'll have a rally of, say, 7%, sometimes 9%, 10%. As high as 24% in the middle of a bear market. And what happens is people are lulled to sleep, they think the worst is over, and it's new all-time highs from here. And as the rally extends and each percentage it goes up, more people put money in, and oftentimes it's just more pain to the downside. And this happened during the last stagflationary period, like what we're seeing today, where there were multiple market rallies in the midst of an overall correction for stocks. And while people were excited to get in on the 7% or the 10% or the 24%, meanwhile, over a 2-year time, the stocks lost over 60%. And so each time people jumped in, they got hammered lower within a little while. Now, the metals did the opposite during that time. There were intermittent periods like what we saw earlier this week when the paper markets were temporarily smashing the metals lower, but overall they were in an upward trend. And at the same time, we saw people losing money year after year in stocks. During that same period of time, we saw gold and silver from 3 to 5 times higher during that period. And so it was discouraging on the down days for the metals, just as it was encouraging for the up days for stocks. But because of the economic conditions, those that were in precious metals ended up through that period in a lot better place than those that were trying to time the entry and exits of the stock market. And so I believe we're in similar periods today. I just got a view of statistics. The 30-year interest rate for mortgages is higher again. It's beginning to influence the availability of housing, and the prices are starting to come down, which if you're looking for a house, that may be a good thing. But for those investing in that sector, it's real estate is struggling now. Rents are up over 16%. Gasoline is up 92%. Diesel's up 110%. And food costs are up 60%. So the conditions for inflation, stagflation, and the economy is starting to slow. Those appear to be similar to what we saw in the mid-70s. And so I think the conditions are very similar that would warrant being careful in the investment securities markets and also a good time to be a precious metals investor, because over time, in this type of environment, the metals outperform, as they have so far this year. So they're the best performers this year, and I believe that through this difficult economic period, that will continue to be the way that it goes. So thanks a lot. We appreciate those that have made sacrifices, families, members that have lost loved ones in the service of our nation. We appreciate your sacrifice, and we honor you this weekend and always, and we don't take this holiday lightly. And thank you for your service. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again next week. Have a good weekend. God bless.